The Oval Office, February 28, 2025, an air of unease hung thick in the air. This was supposed to be a routine meeting, a chance for two allies to reaffirm their commitment. Instead, the tension was palpable. President Trump sat behind the resolute desk, his face a mask of barely contained fury. Vice President Vance, perched on an armchair nearby, radiated an icy disapproval. Across from them stood Ukrainian President Zelenskyy, his usually jovial demeanor replaced by a stoic mask. Zelenskyy had arrived at the White House with the weight of a nation at war on his shoulders. He came seeking continued support, both military and financial, to combat the ongoing Russian aggression, but the atmosphere in the room was anything but welcoming. Gone was the camaraderie of previous meetings, the shared purpose, the understanding. In its place was a chilling frost. The initial pleasantries felt forced, the smiles strained. Trump, never one for small talk, cut straight to the chase. His voice, a low growl, filled the room. "You know, Volodymyr," he began, using the Ukrainian president's first name with a familiarity that felt more like a threat. "The American people are getting tired. Tired of this war, tired of sending you money, tired of you." Zelenskyy, caught off guard by the bluntness of the attack, tried to respond, but Trump, fueled by a potent cocktail of grievance and a need for control, plowed on. He accused Zelenskyy of being ungrateful, of biting the hand that fed him. "We've given you billions," he roared, his voice rising in anger. "Billions! And you can't even control a two-bit dictator?" Vance, his eyes cold and calculating, chimed in. He accused Zelenskyy of meddling in American politics, of actively campaigning against him in Pennsylvania. The allegation, thin and unsubstantiated, felt more like an excuse than a genuine grievance. The air crackled with tension. The meeting, meant to be a show of solidarity, had descended into a verbal slugfest. "You're risking World War III, Trump thundered, jabbing a finger in Zelensky's direction. "Playing games with nuclear powers. The American people won't stand for it. We're done being the world's policemen." The ultimatum hung heavy in the air. Fall in line, or else. Zelenskyy, though visibly shaken by the onslaught, stood his ground. He spoke of the sacrifices his people had made, the cities reduced to rubble, the lives lost defending their homeland against an unprovoked aggressor. He reminded Trump of the shared values that supposedly underpinned the alliance: freedom, democracy, the right to self-determination. He expressed gratitude for the American support, both past and present, but refused to apologize for defending his country. He would not be cowed by threats or bullied into submission. His voice, though quiet, carried the weight of conviction. The room fell silent as Zelenskyy finished speaking. The silence stretched, thick and heavy, punctuated only by the ticking of the grandfather clock in the corner. The meeting, already teetering on the brink, spiraled further downhill. Trump, his face red with anger, launched into a tirade about NATO, about European allies not pulling their weight, about unfair trade deals. He seemed to have forgotten, or perhaps never cared, about the man sitting across from him, a man fighting for the very survival of his nation. The meeting ended abruptly, without resolution, without even a handshake. Zelenskyy, his face etched with disappointment and a hint of fear, was ushered out of the Oval Office. The planned joint news conference was cancelled, as was the signing of a potentially lucrative rare earth minerals deal. The message was clear: defy Trump, and there will be consequences. The fallout was swift and brutal. Trump, true to form, took to his social media platform of choice, unleashing a torrent of angry pronouncements. He accused Zelenskyy of being weak, ungrateful, and a danger to global stability. The American media, caught in the crosshairs of an international incident, went into overdrive. The cancellation of the mineral deal sent shockwaves through the international community. European leaders, caught off guard by the sudden shift in American foreign policy, scrambled to reassure Ukraine of their continued support. Russia, meanwhile, gleefully exploited the rift, portraying it as a sign of American weakness and waning influence. The future of U.S.-Ukraine relations, once a beacon of transatlantic unity, now hung precariously in the balance.